Hello people. So the other week I found out that I uploaded my last video 4 years ago, which is kind of mental. In the last kind of year or so, I've been toying with the idea of uploading videos again, but I never really had proper motivation and anything to record. And now I have those, and I also have a lot of time on my hands, obviously because of lockdown. So I decided to try sort of recording a bit. So basically in the next sort of month or 2 months, I'm going to be recording DGBA games, Season 12, DGBA Swarm Division. Recently I got accepted into it after trying before. I finally got in, and yeah, it was pretty exciting. So I'm going to be recording those. I'm sure all of you know what DGBA is. It's a pretty prestigious league, especially like the upper divisions. There was some sort of draft league power rankings that was made not too long ago, I believe by KHD, who put DGBA in the top 5. So just as kind of like a reference, but I'm sure everyone watching this kind of knows what DGBA is. I think the main reason for me why I'm recording these videos, even if it is just for 2 months, is because I obviously enjoy Pokemon. I enjoy talking about Pokemon, and YouTube is kind of like an outlet for that. I feel if I do talk to people about it in real life, like my girlfriend, I'm sure they're gonna get bored and stuff of it, or they definitely do get bored of it. So this is a nice kind of excuse to be able to talk about Pokemon, which obviously I really enjoy. As I briefly mentioned, this is my second time applying into a DGBA, and I think that I got in this time mainly because of the most recent cash game tournament. Again, I'm sure everyone watching this is aware of that, but it's a pretty big draft league tournament, and I did somewhat decent in it. I think it was like 20th or something like that out of 300, 400. I don't really know how many there were, but it was something like that. I just narrowly missed out of top 16 cut-off, which was pretty disheartening, but I partly have myself to blame for that. Not only did I play drunk, but which meant that I misplayed quite a lot, but I did also get hacked a lot, like a ridiculous amount. It was kind of a crazy game, but what the coach that actually played, the player that actually played, is in DGBA Swarm as well this season, so that's pretty cool. Within DGBA, Swarm is obviously the lowest division. So hopefully sort of this season I can maybe climb my way up and at least make a name for myself in the league and see if I can promote. Yeah, that'd be nice. So yeah, I think I can probably just go on to the draft. This video is just going to be kind of like a hello, I'm here kind of thing, and going into the draft analysis, because I didn't really want to go through draft analysis and a week 1 recap or week 1 analysis of the game in one video, so I figured I'd just do this. So yeah, as you can see, this is my draft here. Before I get into it, I know it's fully bad. I do make trades and stuff and transactions to make it a little bit better. While I believe that helped to an extent, it is still flawed. But yes, anyway. So yeah, the general kind of like theme of this draft is it's not so much a cohesive team. It's more just a combination of Pokemon that I wanted to really use and somewhat trying to make them work. So yeah, the first Pokemon that I got was Gliscor. I think it was like pick like 11 or 12, maybe even lower than that. It might have been 13 actually. Yeah, out of 16. So Gliscor got to me, and I've been wanting to use Gliscor or Gliscor, whatever, for a while. I mean, with no hidden power ice, it's just super solid. look a really good sort of defensive Rincon. Can set up stealth rocks and stuff. I mean, everyone knows what it does, but yeah, I think it really got better this generation. Obviously, there's no hidden power. Electric types, it was really well. So the only real stuff that can sort of beat this now is water types, with obviously Ice Beam and Water Stab, and some grass types. So yeah, also I have the Swarm document here, and if I go, there it is, draft board. So they in this season they actually allowed 19-point Pokemon as an added thing. Dragapult, Lando, IMU. So Gliscor doesn't have an amazing matchup versus Mew and Dragapult. That's a really solid matchup versus Landorus. So Landorus kind of forces a bit more kind of like certain builds that aren't as bulky, but with Gliscor I can kind of get around that quite nicely. So yeah, it's pretty good this within this meta game. Not only because of the buffs that it got this season, but also because it can deal with Landorus, which is one of the biggest threats in this season. Although I do think Dragapult's better, but either way. So yeah, on to next pick. Next pick I got Mega Aerodactyl, and yeah, I've been again wanting to use this ever since the buffs like Dragon Dance and Dual Wing Beat. I think those are amazing. Dual Wing Beat just allows you to net certain KOs into 8 KOs that it wouldn't be able to do before. Because Flying Stab is obviously really good. Of course, it does make it a bit weak with the Rocky Helmet, which doesn't help with Melmetal, but it is what it is. Dragon Dance really helps with Scarfers, so you know that's kind of like the main way you're gonna offensively be able to check Mega Aerodactyl with Scarfers, but with Dragon Dance it's kind of negated. So yeah, it's just really solid with Roost, Taunt, Toxic, and it also has Stealth Rocks, which I'm not going to be using too much, although I might have to, because this team, as you can see, doesn't have that many Stealth Rockers. But yeah, it's just really solid, good coverage, and amazing speed. Like I'm pretty much always going to have. I think I guarantee that I always have the fastest Pokemon in any matchup, outside of like Regieleki, but it's not really a Pokemon. So yeah, moving on to the next one. Melmetal was 14 points, I believe. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but Melmetal is 14 points, which I thought was kind of crazy. I would consider it, most of the time it is like 15 points, and I would consider it around that range. I've also seen it for 16 points. At the start of generation it was 18, but then people realised it's not really that good, so it kind of fell off quite a bit, but I still think 14 points is very low for it. It's just really strong and really bulky, obviously, and with like Thunder Punch and Earthquake you're able to hit your checks quite easily, like water types and steel types and stuff like that. And so yeah, the annoying thing is that all three of these are weak to water types, which is quite a shame. But again, it kind of links to the whole idea of it's not really a cohesive team and more of just a combination of Pokemon that I wanted to use. Of course, I do patch up those weaknesses later, but yes. So yeah, Memo is just really good. It can be like Choice Band or like like a sub-toxic set. It's just really good, really good, in my opinion. So with that in mind, I do just quickly want to mention that throughout the draft, especially when I drafted those three, I knew I 100% wanted some sort of goth. So yeah, as I was drafting, I had in mind that I really wanted to get Gothorita at the end of it, or towards the end of it, and yeah, that happens because of how it can just like trap bulky waters and stuff, which is frees up Gliscor, Mega Aerodactyl, and Nerfmortal so much. Does sort of, and the interesting thing about putting Goth on this team is bulky waters have to choose if they want to go with Rocky Helmet to be able to better take on Mermetal and Arrow, or if they want to be leftovers and take on Gliscor a bit better, or if they want to be Shedshell to take on Goth a bit better. But if they are Shedshell, then these guys go in, and plus I have knockoff capabilities, not only on Gliscor but other Pokemon as well. So yeah, that's kind of like the theme of this draft is really kind of like pressure those bulky waters, not only in the game but in the team build as well, and providing really nice knockoff users with those to help Goth and stuff like that trap them. So yeah. Next I got Starmie. Main reason for this is because it's a water resist, also a really nice spinner, and creates a speed gap, sort of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's below the speed of Mega Aerodactyl, so it goes from base 150 to base 115, which is a pretty big cap to be fair, but it's okay. Like generally, I want my teams to have 3 Pokemon, at least 3 Pokemon that have a speed above base 100, and preferably 2 of a base 110, and Starmie kind of just really fills that gap. Yeah, Rapid Spin support is really good with Mega Aerodactyl. Obviously, Starmie can kind of like check some of the bulky waters. At the very least, it's a buffer to it. To bulky waters like doing too much damage to the rest of my team. It doesn't really have the breaking power to get past a lot of the bulky waters. Something like Milotic can deal with it somewhat well. In terms of like Starmie not being able to take care of it. But it does obviously get toxic and stuff, right? Yeah. So so that's that. And then I move on to Tangrowth. Again, another water resist, bulky water killer, and creates a nice sort of defensive backbone with Gliscor. Just a really nice blanket check to a lot of things. Like as I said, bulky water types and ground types, so that things like Starmie and Gliscor have a little less pressure. And yeah, obviously Regenerate is busted ability. Again, knockoff support, so if I want to say trap a Skarmory with Goth, then I can do that by knocking off the Skarmory's item or whatever it may be. Yeah, and Komodo, again, another water resist, doesn't deal that well with bulky waters because it obviously doesn't have a super effective stab against it, but it also sets up Stealth Rocks, and it's just really versatile. Again, its point value was really low. It was like 14 points again, which is the lowest I've seen it. I usually see it again for 15 or maybe even 16 in some of these, because it is just really versatile. It could, defensive or Belly Drum or Clang with Soul Blaze or Dragon Dance. There's so much it can do, which is something I really value for this team. So yeah, Komodo is just a really strong Pokemon, especially for 14 points. So yeah, next I got Toxtricity. It's a very nice wall breaker that can deal with, again, bulky water. It's a common theme here. And yeah, I feel like I really needed a proper wall breaker, because Melmetal can wall break, obviously, but apart from that, there isn't really that much. Maybe like a SD Komodo, but I wanted kind of like that immediate power that Toxtricity gives. Also a nice fairy check, so Melmetal doesn't have to come literally every week, although it might do, but yeah. Fox switch as well to get in things like Mega Aerodactyl. It's just really solid, really solid for this team, I think. Next I got Incineroar because the fire type is nice for steel types, but the main reason is because dark types are pretty essential this generation with how good ghost types and psychic types are. There's no pursuit, so yeah, dark types are really important. Again, it provides a knockoff user, and it's a knockoff user that again baits in bulky waters. So if that bulky water has a shed shell, say like I can't think of any examples right now. Like Gastrodon is a bad example, but say Gastrodon has a shed shell, then Incineroar can like bait that Gastrodon in and can knock off. Obviously, it won't go to that. It won't go to plan every time like that, but I have that kind of option there. Has obviously momentum with Partner Shot and U-turn, which is really nice. So yeah, and then next we get Gramble, and I think Gramble is actually a really key member of this team. You'll see him later on. I actually bring this quite a lot, just because it patches up so many like little holes, random holes that I have in the draft so far. Things like Garchomp it can deal with pretty well, because I don't really want to rely on Tangrowth to deal with Garchomp, because not only can it be mixed, but there's no hidden power. So Tangrowth can't really deal with it that well. And it just helps with like random stuff like that, like fighting types as well that have fast coverage. So like Mega Machamp and Megalade and Megalopin, although Megalop and Galade obviously are immune to what's it called, Intimidate now, which is kind of mental, but yeah, it just helps. It's almost like a buffer to those Pokemon, which is pretty good. And then onto Goth, I've kind of explained this already. Traps bulky waters and bulky steels and whatever else I need to trap. Bulky grounds even if I really need to. Next I get Tauros. As I said before, for speed, about the speed with I generally want 3 Pokemon above base 100 speed, and Tauros kind of fits that. It's not the best Pokemon ever, although it did get buffed this generation. It's not amazing, but yeah, I figured it would be pretty good for this draft for what, like 4 or 5 points I think it was something like that. So I figured why not. So yeah, that's my draft. I don't think there's really too much to say. Not really sure how to end this, to be honest, but yeah, so I'm going to be recording and uploading DGBA games. So I don't know how often I'm going to do it, but I'm gonna try and do the whole season. See if I can do that with uni work and stuff like that. But that's the plan. So, yep. Thanks for watching, people, and peace.